Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. Today, I bring you sad news. New York City legend and top scout Tom Kachowski has passed away. I want to take a few minutes for a moment of silence for the great Tom Kachowski. It's tough, man. Just want to say a few words about Tom Kachowski. It's my junior year. We won the city championship. It's coming back to the city, all everything. My coach had a meet with me and told me that my senior year, I wouldn't be able to play. Because of those circumstances, he met with Tom Kachowski and they put a plan together to get me to prep school. My two options was Oak Hill Academy and Maine Central Institute. To make a long story short, I chose Maine Central because it's the best place for me. I want to say thank you, Tom, Mr. Kachowski, for helping me further my life to get a better education. And with saying that, welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Long Island Lutheran great. At age 11, his family moved from Bklyn to Uniondale. Once in Uniondale, he mentored a young Rick Combs, who eventually became Wagner's great, Rick Combs, from Uniondale High School, who also moved from Bklyn to Long Island. But this basketball head began playing organized basketball in the 6th grade and played for Lawrence Road Junior High School. In 1977, he went on to star at Long Island Lutheran High School, where he gained honors as a all Long Island guard in his junior and senior years. He received a full basketball scholarship to play at the University of Maryland, where he played with such great players as Albert King, Buck Williams, Ernie Graham, Adrian Branch, Herman Veal, and the late, great Len Bias. The highlight of his career was when he scored 29 points versus North Carolina State in his junior year. This basketball head was fortunate to have the opportunity to play against Hall of Fame players such as Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, James Worthy, and the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Long Island Lutheran great and University of Maryland standout, Steve Rivers.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening, homie?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to see another guy that comes on the show that represents the ball heads.
That's right. And listen, before we even begin, I want to say thank you so much. I'm really humbled by you bringing me on to your show. I want to thank my man, my teammate, my brother, Mike Anderson, and I love you guys very much. Thank you so much.
No doubt. Mike's a good guy, man, good brother, man. Talked very highly of you, and he was like, listen, my man got a great story. So we definitely gonna hear it tonight.
All right.
So what I like to ask all my guests who come on the show is, who introduced you to the game?
Oh, my father. Back when I was in 5th grade, we were about to move out to Long Island. We lived on Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, in Crown Heights. And so,
We're at Eastern Parkway. Between what and what?
oh, between Kingston and Brooklyn, right across the street from the Jewish synagogue.
Got you. Because my guy, Pat Burke, and his brother live on Nostrand and Rogers, right on Eastern Parkway. So you guys probably know each other.
Yeah, and I remember my first experiences, believe it or not, I used to go across the street because my mother didn't let me go way too, too far. And I used to literally shoot on a garbage can on the ground. And so when we were about to move out to Long Island, my father was a social worker, and he had a job in Roosevelt, and it happened to be right next to Centennial Park. Those of us that lived on Long Island know where legendary Centennial Park was. And while he was working, during his breaks, he would come out and feed me the ball. And at that time, I used to love watching the Celtics, and I used to love watching JoJo White. I don't know if you guys remember.
Woo! Yeah, he was a mentor to Charlie Scott, my guest for a few days ago, Hall of Famer Charlie Scott.
Yeah.
When he went down to Lombard, excuse me.
Right. And so that's when I really started. And we moved out to Uniondale, and I went to elementary school at Northern Parkway, and then eventually went to Lawrence Road Junior High School. And that's when I first really started playing organized basketball. And from there, it was on. I just practiced every day and shot around and played around with a whole lot of really, really good players. We went to Lawrence Road. We gave them, what year was it? I think it was 1977. Gave them their first undefeated team. And I was supposed to go to Uniondale High School, but I met a gentleman by the name of Mike Milligan. And Mike Milligan saw something in me. And from there on, he took me out to go play a few times out at Long Island Lutheran. And that's where I met the legendary Reverend Bishop. And it was from there where they asked me to come to the school. And so I went there in 10th grade and played there for 3 years. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
High school years, man. Telling you, nothing like it.
That's right. I'm telling you.
By any chance, did Tom Kachowski ever make it out to Long Island Lutheran to see you guys play?
All the time. We had a camp called Top 70. And this was a weekend camp where the best...
I think I put up a jersey. A while ago. Rick sent me a picture of it. Yes.
Yeah, with all the top players from the New York, Long Island, and they used to come in, and all of the coaches, from Dean Smith to Jim Boeheim, you name it. And Tom Kachowski was right there. And I heard you saying that earlier. You couldn't miss him because he was a tall man. But what I loved about him is that his spirit was so humble. He was a really soft-spoken man, but he knew his basketball. Yes, he did. And he will surely be missed on whatnot. But I know he's on his way to heaven, so there's no doubt about that. So, but I loved him.
He did God's work. He did God's work on his planet while he was here. So definitely. And his handshake, right? You get a handshake.
Strong.
You're fortunate enough to get a handshake.
That's right.
From Mr. Kachowski, you'll never forget him.
That's right. Men don't shake hands like that anymore.
There you go.
That's right. He's something else.
My guys always told me, Kenny Parker was the guy who kind of mentored me my first year at Lincoln, and he was just put me on to all the key players. And he was like, listen, when he shake your hand, make sure you look that man in his face.
Oh, yeah.
But you ain't have no choice because he shook it so firm that he made you stand at attention, right?
Exactly. But he was, like I said, his knowledge of basketball was immense. But I just loved his spirit. He's just a nice guy, very good conversationalist, and just, awesome guy. It's a great loss for us in the world of basketball. Great loss.
Yeah, man. So how was life growing up for you, coming from Brooklyn and moving out to Long Island?
Well, we were the first black family on our block in 1973, and
Luke.
it was a challenge at first because we're coming out there and people at first are looking at you and there were some nice people though. They were I have to admit there were some nice people. Then there was always some people that always kind of gave you that look. But it didn't take long before when I went to Northern Parkway Elementary School that I met some other black people who happened to live on the other side of Uniondale. And see, I lived predominantly at that time in the white area, but on the other side was predominantly black. And that's when I first met, a few people that up to this day I'm still friends with. And so it was okay, and I think what helped me was the fact that my mother, who was a New York City school teacher, told me a lot of things. My father was a social worker. I had a younger brother. And we went out there and I concentrated. That's when I really loved basketball. And so I used to go out and play. And even if I played by myself, it was okay. I just got out there and shot around and everything. And eventually I met people. And even with some of the white people that kind of looked at me kind of funny in the beginning, once they saw that, I had a little promise, they kind of opened up and, showed some heart. And from there, it was all good,
That's real. That's real. So how did you get into basketball when you got out there? Because I know you started in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, I started playing in Brooklyn. Like I said, I used to just shoot on a garbage can because my mother, we lived out there, and she didn't want me. I was still a small guy, so she didn't want me to go far. But I got out there, and I started playing PBC, Police Boys Club basketball, at Northern Parkway, and from there, that was my real first introduction to organized basketball. And then from there, I went to Lawrence Road Junior High School, played there for the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, because at that time, 9th grade was still junior high, and
right
was 10th, 11th, and 12th. From that point on, I played every single day, watching TV, going out and practicing. Like I said, my favorite player was JoJo White. And after JoJo White, and I loved him because he had that quick release. I don't know if you remember that. He had that quick release. And somebody else that that I really, really loved back in the day was Bob McAdoo.
Bob McAdoo.
Yeah, because Bob McAdoo had that quick release also. So I would go out to the park and I would just practice and just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. Luckily for me, I just established, a pretty good jump shot. And from there, we went on and played at the park every day. Sorry, excuse me.
Where I know people probably calling you right now, blowing you up like they're doing me right now.
Yeah, and I met this Sherman Fenner, and Sherman Fenner was really, really great basketball player at that time, and we just went at it over and over again back in the day. And luckily, that competition turned into a friendship. And so from there on, we would go out and play together every day. And then when I reached the 9th grade year, I took a walk, and I met a gentleman by the name of Mike Milligan. And Mike Milligan, up to this day, I keep in touch with him now. He's a professor out in California. And he was, at that time at Long Island Lutheran, one of the best players I had ever seen. And he was there also. And so from there, he introduced me to Reverend Bishop. He took me out to Long Island Lutheran. And at that time, I wasn't really exposed to, I saw guys from all over Long Island. These guys were good. So I knew I had to step my game up. But them every day, helped me along the way. And then from there, that was it. I started playing and went to camp every summer at Long Island Lutheran and practiced once I got home. And, the Lord blessed me with a great few years at Long Island Lutheran. My 10th grade year, my 11th and 12th grade year, I was able to make All Long Island as a junior and a senior. Matter of fact, the only two guys on Long Island that made it that year as a junior and senior, I'm sure you know Matt Doherty. I've heard of Matt Doherty.
Yes. Oh, I know. Oh, for sure I know. North Carolina great. Yes.
Yeah, North Carolina, and he was from East Meadow. And I remember going out, because, you know, after a while you go to other parks and you say, okay,
right.
Other parks and see where my game, you know, see where it developed. So I would go out there, and I saw this guy. He was like 6'7", and I was like, wait a minute, I know this guy got to be older. And one of the guys said, no, that's Matt Doherty. He's the best sophomore on Long Island. So I said, okay.
Wow.
I met him, and then Lutheran and Holy Trinity were rivals. So I got a chance to know him and playing and everything, and it was just great competition. I tell you, at that time, Long Island was really, really stocked. You can go Uniondale, Roosevelt, Hempstead, Lakeview. You go out to Suffolk County. You go out to Manhasset. I mean, it was just loaded with talent, okay? And then I was blessed to be one of 3 people from Long Island to go back and play in the city at Riverside Church. I was a Riverside Church guy. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played with Mr. Lawrence.
Okay. Who was on your team when you played?
Oh, the squad was loaded. Myself, Steve Burt, Mike Moses, Gary Springer. Okay. 1 year, Richie Adams was on the team, but Richie Adams was really on the Gauchos at that time.
Yes.
And my favorite guy, you talking about a wonderful guy, but a hell of a player, and I know you remember him. My man went to Westinghouse, Roosevelt Chapman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah. So I got a chance to play with all those guys, and we went over to Tucson, Arizona, and got the exposure out there. Then finally, my senior year came around at Lutheran, where I played really, really well. I remember my best game was against Alexander Hamilton, which is now known as Paul Robeson. And they
hold on, slow down and walk us through this, because I need to hear this.
Yeah.
Right?
Say something.
Definitely.
They were coached by the legendary, and I see him now sometimes at the diner when we get breakfast, the legendary Ray Haskins. Oh, man.
That's right. The godfather of the show.
That's right. And that they had a backcourt that I had never seen before. And I mean, they were out of sight. Beetle Washington and Cosell Brown. And they were forward by the name of Lionel King. And then they had Jerry Ice Reynolds. I don't know if you remember Jerry. Jerry went on and played for
Jerry was on the show. Yes. One of my idols coming up. Yeah.
And I remember they were like number 2 in the state. They were really, really good. Matter of fact, they had a young kid that grew up later on, and he was just coming off the bench at that time. His name was Andre Irvin. So they had a boat. I never forget that.
And you can't forget about Ed Davida, but probably came afterwards. He was probably a little younger.
Right. And so they were like number 2 in the state. And so they came out Long Island Lutheran, and everybody said, oh, man, y'all gonna get, I don't know, y'all gonna smash. So we were like, no, we had a pretty good team too. Myself, John, Rob James, Lou Watson, and then we had Darryl Carter coming off the bench. And you know who our center was? Our center was Bill Wennington. I know you know Bill Wennington. Bill Wennington
really
won 3 rings.
I never knew that. I never knew he went to
Lutheran. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Derek Sells. I think I mentioned Rob James. Rob James at that time when I was a senior was the best sophomore on Long Island, and guy could shoot with both hands. And we had a good team. They came up there, and everybody thought that we had our hands full, and they came in there looking good, but they left with an L. Long Island Lutheran beat them that day. And look. Hold on.
Let's make some noise for that right there.
That's because I was hyped. I said, I'm not going to let these guys come out here and embarrass me on my home court. So I dropped 36 of them things on them.
Woo! 36 of these on them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It was
talk that talk.
I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but you know what I'm saying?
No, this is your time. This is your time, man.
Yeah, we had a great game against them. I I remember playing against boys and girls. They had more than Richie Gordon. I mean, those days, 70s, 80s, those were the best times in basketball.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Island, New York City, upstate. I mean, great experiences. Unbelievable.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Yeah.
Just those players alone. And, this is before Pearl, right?
Oh, yeah.
So just imagine, and Ross Strickland, and Carlton Silk Owens, and Boo Harvey. We didn't even get to that era yet.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love those.
Crazy.
I mean,
and Rob Moore, who can forget Rob Moore played for the Jets. He played for Hempstead in '86.
Exactly.
That's right.
Played football and basketball. And I'm telling you, and another gentleman, skipping back out to Long Island, I'm telling you, we played against this legendary team, St. Agnes, and they had my man Doug Mills and my man John Burke and Audie Matthews, who left Lutheran to go to St. Agnes and play, but that was okay. And
wow.
And had a young guy on the team who grew up and actually played with the Boston Celtics for a while by the name of A.J. Winder. Yeah, and guess who was actually also young too, but he didn't really play at that time, was Billy Donovan, who you see now as the coach of the Chicago Bulls. So
let me tell you something. Billy Donovan's name has been mentioned more than I think than anybody else's name that's been on here.
Yes.
I'm going to keep it 100. His name comes up every now and again. I was just talking to John Johnson, Tarleton, Virginia great, the other night. And he was saying, yo, man, run up against Billy Donovan was crazy. He said Billy Donovan tore me another asshole.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, really? He was like, yo, the boy wasn't no joke.
He was tough. He was tough. Looking back, he was really, really, really good. I think about that same St. Agnes team I mentioned before, Doug Mills, and he had a cousin by the name of Tracy Mills, and they had a little shot. But I mean, Long Island at that time, Glenn, was loaded. You can go to Roosevelt, you can go to Hempstead, you can go anywhere, Baldwin. You can go anywhere, and I'm talking about, top players all the time. Hempstead, some of the toughest players in the world. Rory Glasgow. I mean, you name it. I mean, you went everywhere. You went out into the white areas. Matt Doherty, Tom Emma, who went on and played at Duke. Matt Doherty, Brett Barrett, who went out to Harbor Fields. I mean, it was just crazy. When I went to Malvern, Andre Hawkins, you had the Harvey brothers, Lionel and Eric. I mean, just look. Steve Brawley, how can I forget him? Roosevelt, even before I grew up, Carly Baldwin, George Hope, my man Jeff Stevenson. I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, like I said, going back in the city, I forgot this guy's name. He went to Forest Hills. And then he went on and played at DePaul. Kenny
Patterson.
Kenny
Patterson.
Kenny P.
yes. Ross Strickland's hero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All those guys. I mean, that era right there, I don't mean to brag, that era right there, whether you're on Long Island, the city, anywhere, the best ever. And I'm talking about, I know there was talent spread out, but in terms of collectively, the best era in the world.
Listen, we're gonna do a group thing soon. Trust me. I need to bring you in. Need to bring my guy Ephraim Whitehead in because he believed his 1990 year was the best year with Khalid Reeves, himself, Mashburn, and all these guys. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know. But I would love to hear that discussion because you guys were deep.
Yeah, they were.
You guys were deep. That was the difference. That was the big difference. And all you guys are going to major universities.
Yeah.
That's what I think you guys are going to edge them out.
Yeah. I mean, you had the exposure of so many people going to different schools, and it was just like I said, I miss those days. But it gives you something to think about and something to focus on and be able to tell your children and grandchildren that, yeah, you grew up during a time where, wow, basketball was really, really good. It was really good.
It's never going back.
No.
I'm going to keep it real. I haven't watched a full basketball game in 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's hard to watch now because they jacking up threes and nobody's really playing.
Yo, it's sick. And people think this is cool. I'm going, yo, fam, detriment to the game. I seen dudes on fast break. Everybody looking to pitch it back out.
Yeah.
It's like no one's cutting to the basket on a fast break, but that's another story. Who was your guys' toughest competition when you was at Long Island Lutheran?
Oh, hands down, Mount Vernon. They had the McCrae brothers. Oh, Lord. Rodney and Scooter. They used to come and play, and we used to have this Long Island Lutheran Invitational Tournament where it was us, it was Mount Vernon, Holy Trinity, and then we always used to have an out-of-state team come in. Sometimes it was a team from Pennsylvania. I remember a tough team, Lackawanna. I remember one year, my senior year, we played Mackin from D.C., and they had a kid there who I met once I went down to Maryland. He was from D.C. That was really tough. His name was Johnny Dawkins. I know you know him and whatnot.
Oh, Johnny Dawkins, beast.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah. But no, Mount Vernon, really, really tough team. I mean, awesomely tough. They were the best. They were the best.
And he said that, don't forget Mount Vernon. He said that too.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? DJ? I can't read the whole name. I'm going blind, but I need glasses.
Vernon riding the kid. Yeah, but I'm telling you, the McCrae, they were real. They had another gentleman, I forgot who he was. Maybe he came a little later. Dark-skinned kid that used to jump out of the gym. I forgot his name. But, I mean, they were really, they were tough. They were tough.
Cool. So it seemed like your transition year to year was going in the right direction.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you naming all these players, you go into these camps. Who was it your senior year? Who asked you bust that everybody was raving about? But when you played them, it was a different story.
Oh wow. Glenn, I it's really hard to say because I want to give other people so much more credit. I want to be humble.
Tonight is your night. They ain't on the show, fam.
I think that I played pretty well just about against everybody. I held my own. I think I give you an example. My senior year, we played. It was the Long Island All-Stars versus the New York City All-Stars, and I'm talking about at Westbury High School. And I mean, I
read about this game, but go ahead.
Yeah, they had. Everybody from Steve Burke to Mike Moses to my man.
Yep.
I told you about earlier, Richie Adams and Gary Springer. They came out there and they beat us and whatnot. But I had a pretty good game. I had like 26, and so I think it was the experience of playing with them, against them. I don't know. It's like I said, everybody that I played against, I think I played well. I'm not going to go out here and try to brag or anything like that, but I held my own. You know what I'm saying? We had some tough kids. We went out to Suffolk County, played against some of them guys from Bellport when they had Dave Russell, who went on to St. John's and West Korea, all those guys. But, I held my own pretty well. I did really well.
Did you guys win the championship while you was out there? Any year that you were at Long Island Lutheran?
No, we always went upstate. We lost my senior year to St. Dominic's, but the very following year, Mike always teases me about that. He said, "Yeah, Rib." He said, "Yeah, once you left and whatnot, we came out the next year and won it all. I think it's because you wasn't passing that fruit too much." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said, "Yeah."
So
he said, "Yeah." He
so.
That was it.
Got it.
He said, yeah.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, but no, we always went upstate. But one year, I think it was my junior year, we played in the semifinals, and it was the most frustrating game. I don't know, during those times when they had teams that would hold the ball, we played a team out called
And no shot clock.
St. Anthony's, and they had a big kid named Richie Simkis, and the point guard's son played for them, Gus Alfieri. And I never forget, by the end of the game, we had lost, because we weren't used to playing against that, that type of team. They held the ball. I think the final score was like 29-18 or something like that. And I never forget that. It was so frustrating. Unbelievable.
29-18.
Yeah.
That's the like first quarter score.
Exactly.
And there was no shot clock back then, so
No. So they held,
pass.
That's right. They held it on us. I remember senior year we lost to St. Dominic's. They had a kid by the name of Rich Dye, and they had a big kid, Tim Kempton, who went on and played for the Phoenix Suns later because he had gone to Notre Dame. But we never really made it. Like I said, we never really made it over the top. And then when I left, then Long Island Lutheran, they went on. They won the championship. So it was good. But I was happy for them. I loved them. Those were my brothers. But I was like, okay,
Yeah, so what was the recruiting process like, and what was the other school down, what was recruiting you?
Well, I visited University of Maryland. I visited Providence, Syracuse, the University of Virginia, and I think that was it. Yeah, I really liked Providence because Providence was the school where it was going into the Big East. The Big East was just opening up, and I heard that Providence was really God-oriented, and obviously you see it was because that's where Billy D went. Virginia, I got a chance to hang out with Ralph Sampson and all those guys, but it just wasn't a good fit for me. Syracuse, oh Lord, Syracuse. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I love Syracuse. I got up there, Coach Boeheim, they all took me to go see the Jackson 5. I had front row seats, and everything was okay until I went outside and felt that hawk. And when that hawk hit, it won't be into that, man. I won't be coming out here.
Yeah, Wendy Williams and Jack Frost won't be getting you.
That's what I'm saying, But it worked out for them anyway because they were blessed with my man who I keep in touch with now, and my man Jeannie Waldron and whatnot, left-handed cat.
Listen, Gene was supposed to come on here. We were supposed to do Zoom because he said he don't have Instagram. I'm like, yo, fam, you got to get with the town. Come on, people want to hear your story.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have been on season 1, Gene. Yeah. So when you speak to him, let him know. Come on, man. It's cool.
I will. I definitely will. Then I went to Maryland, and I love this style of play. But I think what really enticed me to really go there was the fact that I saw Albert King, who I really admired watching, him and Bernard King. I remember going down to the St. John's Rec Center during the summertime. My father Brooklyn, and I would watch them. They'd be working out outside, and then to finally see him there, and then Buck Williams, who went on and played with the Nets and the Portland Trailblazers, and then they had a gentleman by the name of Ernie Graham, 6'8" kid from Dunbar High School in Baltimore, and then
he was good. He was good. Yeah,
and then Reggie Jackson from Philadelphia, who played at Roman Catholic, and so I just liked their style of play. I really did, and so it wasn't too far from home. It was right there where my mother and father could get there within 4 hours to see me play. And I said, yeah, let me go to Maryland. So, and the experience there, I have to say, wasn't as great as I anticipated, but I love the experience. I think about it now, that's what God had in store for me to go through that in order to build me up to be the person that I am now. But it was a great experience because I'm going to tell you right now, people will argue with you, Glenn, and we'll have this discussion in detail one day. The ACC back then, by far, not a little bit, by far, was the greatest league in college all together, okay? Georgia Tech, when they had Mark Price, NC State.
And, can't forget my guy John Sally.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, how can I forget him? Let's see, Georgia Tech. You had NC State. You had Clemson with Nance. You know, his son plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers now, but his father, my God, could jump out of the gym. And then how else can you leave out North Carolina? I mean, North Carolina. Let me tell you something. Up to this day, I tell people all the time, there were a lot of exciting players in college at that time, but the best college player that I'd ever seen in college at that time was oh God, what's his name? James Worthy.
James Worthy. People don't know how good he was. And he was a great pro as well, Hall of Famer. But in college, he was the guy.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, playing against Michael Jordan. I mean, you saw the greatness in him at that time. You saw it, but, you know, Coach held him back, you know. And not only that, but, yeah, the ACC was powerful. But then getting a chance to play my freshman year, against Indiana the year that they won the national championship when Isaiah Thomas was just a sophomore. Playing against.
Tell me about that. Tell me about guarding Isaiah.
Man,
what was that like?
I got a chance. That was my freshman year. I got in. I played about 8 to 10 minutes that day, and I just stayed off him because I said, "You're not going to drive past me and make me look bad." You know what I'm saying? So
you knew the deal.
If you're gonna get me, you're gonna shoot that jump on me. Luckily, he didn't shoot any, but he was. I'm telling you, talking about somebody that's fast, somebody that's quick, and I mean, he had Randy Whitman and Ted Kitchell and Landon Turner. I mean, they had a powerful team. I mean, he was. You saw it then. He was awesome. But you know, you think about those experiences playing against them, playing against Houston my junior year, against Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, five-slammer jammer. You know, but yeah, playing in the ACC, that was great. You know what I'm saying? It really was playing with Buck Williams and Albert King. And then once they graduated, playing with Adrian Branch. And I mean, I can tell you, I can talk about a lot of great players, but God bless them. I think about it. I tell him now I got a chance to be his roommate and play with him for a couple of years, but Len Bias.
Let's talk about Len, man, and what he meant. You know, it's so crazy, right? Hold on for 1 second, because I was just showing my boys this. Hold on for a sec, people. All right. So, my scrapbook, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I had this since, wow. Let me find it. I had this article since that incident happened.
Right.
And he meant so much to me. I didn't know him. Like, these guys, I didn't know, right? We had these guys on our wall. These guys was like heroes to us. You got to go to school with them. You got to see them in real life. For guys like us who was coming up. Every day,
but on the court, off the court, everything.
And he was such a huge figure. Like, we was yelling Len Bias, we wasn't yelling Michael Jordan. This is facts.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later on. And when he started coming to his own, let me see if I can find, I have it in here. Oh. 1986.
Yeah, the year he passed away. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Daily News.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. And I still have this, man, to this day. And it was like right before I was going away to prep school, and knew I was going to be entering college soon. And it was just one of those things.
Yeah.
So tell me about your relationship and what he meant to you.
Well, I was 2 years older than Lenny. He came on when I was a junior, and he was still very, very raw at that time. You know, you can see that he had this talent. And he was a really, really nice guy. You know, he played hard. He had to wait his turn at that time because we had some tough players at that time. Charles Pittman,
Yeah.
Herman Veal, all these guys that kind of helped groom him along in terms of being the monster that he turned into. But
yeah,
he was really, really a great guy. Once we got to be my senior year, you could see it. You could see it in him. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was 6'8". He was built like an Adonis, like somebody had just chiseled him, right?
like LeBron.
Right, exactly. He jumped out of the gym, and had a perfect form on his shot. And I'm talking about from 20, 25 feet. It was nothing but net. He had a demeanor about him that was very, you know, like he was just he was a good kid, but on the court, he reminded me of Bernard King. You know how Bernard King, nice, mild man and everything? But
Right.
As soon as you cross that line, he turned into like an ogre. And I mean, it helped in this game. He jumped out of the gym. He played defense. He rebounded. He run the floor. He had a pretty nice hand at that time. And I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, see, it's one thing you can speculate, but I lived it. See, that's how I know I've been blessed. I lived it. This guy, if Michael Jordan is here, some people will argue that they were hand in hand, but honestly, because I personally think Michael Jordan is the best I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Yeah.
Mike was here. Len Bias was like right here. It really wasn't that much of a difference. And I'm going to be very honest with you. With his experience and his exposure, if he had played with Larry Bird and McHale and all that, because I'm telling you, his rookie year, he would have played. He may not have started, but he was going to play. He wasn't going to sit on.
Oh, he would have wound up fitting in like how Reggie Lewis was. And I think the NBA would have had another Bird and Magic with Len Bias and Jordan.
Oh, yeah. And just imagine that team if Len Bias and remember Reggie Lewis, he's another.
Yeah. Yes.
Imagine if those two would have teamed up. Oh, my
God. It's a different NBA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lenny was a more refined, even at that time, he was a more refined version of Bernard King and Carmelo Anthony, all those guys. I mean, because he had it all. He had it all.
He probably didn't pass as well as LeBron, but he had all the other things. The rebounding, the defense, the physicality.
Right. The only shortcoming he might have had, and he was working on that, was his ball handling. His ball handling.
Yeah, definitely.
Ball, and he can get it from the wing and work himself in, but the ball handling in terms of drilling up like LeBron, who knows? You know, we would have never known. But I think he would have developed that, because coming into the league and then watching Dominique and going, damn, I'm a bigger version of Dominique. I got to work on my ball handling. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about how he was off the court. He was cool. I know the ladies loved him. People loved to be around him. Say he had a good heart, good spirit.
Yeah. Lenny was good guy, man. He's a good guy. He like all of us in college, we had, if you didn't have a girlfriend at that time and Lenny didn't have a girlfriend, all the girls liked him and stuff. But he wasn't really like into that, where he was going out and messing around with a whole different, girl and this and that, whatever. And then he had met a young lady who was a little older than him, and he really, really liked her, But he was off the court. He was funny. We had lots of laughter. The one thing that hurt me about this whole situation is that when myself and Herman and my man Ben Coleman and a lot of the other guys who were older, we used to always treat Lenny and Adrian like little guys. Like, we see them, and even if they remotely looked like they was trying to get into something, we were like, nah, man, this is not for you. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And so when we left, I guess, I don't know what happened, but they grew into their own, and they got caught out in a few things, and unfortunately he lost his life. But off the court, on the court, he was just something. He was a special guy. Great family.
Salute to the great Len Bias.
Yes.
So let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about that 29-point outing that you had against NC State. And what did that feel like?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Where were you? Were you at home or were you away?
We were at home, and at that time I was a little upset with the coach, because I said, you're not playing me the way I feel, that I can, play. And that week I had a really good practice. We were out there, and I was playing on the second team, and I was lighting them up. So he finally came, and that was the year NC State won the national championship. Matter of fact, I could say, that was my claim to fame. But I never forget when I had that 29, he put me in with 8 minutes left in the first half, right? And then took me out with 3 minutes left in the first half. So I only played 5 minutes in the first half, right? When he took me out, I had dropped 18 points, man, shooting threes on these cats, man. They was getting the ball every time I got it. Because you know how you get mad and you're like, look, I'm tired of this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I would work the ball around, but as soon as I got it, man, I just let it fly. And luckily it fell for me. And I guess he realized at halftime that he wasn't going to take me out. So we went out in the second half and we won that game and whatnot. And I scored another 11 points. But that's my claim to fame at college at Maryland. I dropped 29 on the eventual national champions, NC State Wolfpack.
Salute. That's real.
I had some other good games, but that was my greatest game.
Hey, you never remember that one, right? You never forget that one, I mean.
Right.
Let me see. That wasn't a shot that you didn't like. All right, my guy, Phil. So, how was your transition from college to the real world?
It was strange at first, because I'm coming home, the reality set in, and so I remember getting a very menial job when I first came out. I was working for TWA Airlines, and I was like working, and my mother at that time, who I said was a school teacher, she said, well, why don't you get into education? Why don't you be a good teacher and everything? And I didn't want to hear it. I was like, nah, I don't be
there. Me either,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
But I worked for TWA for about, I say, a year and a half, when finally I said, okay, let me go and work and get my license. And I became a school teacher. I was a sub my first 2 years. And it just changed my life. The difference that you make when you are dealing with young people. Okay.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it is that my whole teaching career, even up to now, has always been in Bklyn. And I love it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it's so funny because even now, there are kids that I teach and I have taught their mothers and their fathers, to show you how long I've been in the game. I've been in the game about 30 years. And it was a great experience. I taught social studies for the most part, but I got an experience teaching phys ed. Then I got into coaching. Matter of fact, for a couple of years, I was an assistant coach to Paul Brown at Boys and Girls. I was an assistant JV. No, I was an assistant varsity and head JV.
What year?
Oh, wow. I think it was like, who was on the team at that time, and I keep in touch with him. Beautiful guy. My man, Bud Pollard, man, the coach of Jefferson.
Bud Pollard. Yes.
Yeah.
Jefferson coach, definitely. Yep.
But to answer your question, teaching has been learned a lot. I thank my mother, who's in heaven now, for encouraging me and putting me into education. It's allowed me to learn a lot of things. Allowed me to build my life in terms of knowledge. It gave me the avenue, by the blessings of God, to meet my wife, the love of my life. It gave me the opportunity to meet beautiful, beautiful people. And so even up to this day, I give God the praise, and I just thank him for all that he's done for me. But
right.
it was first, coming out of college, when you come out of college, you the first thing you do is run right back down to homecoming. First year, I'm going back down there. Second year, I'm going back down there. After about a third or fourth year, when everybody it was a wrap. So I said, you know what, no longer down there. So I told my wife, I said, I want to go down there soon and take her, because she never got a chance to really see it and meet a lot of the people that I met. One of the last things, just jumping back for a minute, University of Maryland was a great experience because I was able to get my degree, but the people, the friends, I have lifelong friends that I keep in touch with now that were some of the most beautiful people and still remain some of the most beautiful people in the world. And I just loved it. But no, teaching, that was the best thing for me. I think that was my calling. It really was. And
same here.
Yeah, it really was. And as time progressed, I was able to learn a few things about my life and how I wanted to get things together. So I surrendered my life to the Lord. And boy, oh boy, that's when all the fun began. He's taught me, to be strong during tough times, how to be encouraging, how to be loving. I serve as a vice chairman now of the deacon board. I'm a deacon at Brown Memorial in Bklyn, New York. And I love it. God has blessed me. I got a wonderful, wonderful, loving wife, Veneta. I have a 21-year-old son, Joshua. I have a 27-year-old daughter, Deanna. I have plenty of friends and family. We travel. We go out to eat. That's what, hey, Glenn, don't tell anybody. I know these people already know. One of the biggest problems I got is that I cook. I'm on Facebook now, and every day I'm always showing something on Facebook about my meals. Yeah. If I wasn't teaching, I would definitely get into the restaurant business because my culinary skills are strong.
Nice. Hey, look, black men cook, fam.
That's
Facts.
right.
You got one over here too. That's right.
That's right. And look, women love men that can cook. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right. That's a blessing when you can get your
That's
cook.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, so we're gonna have some fun now, right?
Okay.
Top 5 players in Long Island history.
Oh, history? Oh Lord. Okay. You gotta say Julius Erving.
Oh, he right on it. Who?
You have to say my man from
No, I didn't hear the first one. Who's the first one?
Julius Erving, Dr. J.
Facts.
I also have to pick Bill Chamberlain, who played at North Carolina, but he was a Lehigh guy. But Bill Chamberlain, oh Lord, that's a hard. Rather than say another one, this kid from Malvern, point guard Steve Brawley, exciting player. Then I would go over to Freeport. There was a guard there back when I was a young kid by the name of Jeff Rock. A lot. I know some of these guys may not even know.
Who's Wayne McCoy?
Wayne McCoy was the center at Lehigh. He was he left when I first got there. He went on and played at St. John's, so I didn't really get a chance to see him. But
okay,
he was a
okay.
great player, monster type guy. He was bigger than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? In terms of a fifth guy, let me see. I'm gonna go ahead because I don't want the young guys to get mad at me and say, "Oh, you picking all these old school cats," even though the old school cats work better than these young cats now.
Let them know, fam.
Fifth guy.
He said, Michael Milligan, my guy,
Yeah.
Eric Hicks, and game over.
Yeah. Mike Hicks, Michael Milligan. From Hempstead, they have this kid, Rory Glasgow, who was awesome. Out in Long Island, further out in Long Island, Dave Russell, who played at Bellport, went to St. John's. I mean, I can't just name five, you know what I'm saying? But
that's cool. How about the top 5 basketball programs in Long Island?
Long Island Lutheran, number 1, man. Kidding me, man? Always, man. And
That's right.
Long Island Lutheran.
My guy Pete's out there now coaching from Lincoln.
Yeah, Long Island Lutheran. I'm gonna tell you other top programs from back in the day, even up till now. They're not as good as they used to be, but Malvern was great. St. Agnes, another great program. Oh wow, St. Dominic's, Holy Trinity. They had a couple of public schools at that time. Like I said, Roosevelt was great. It's really hard, man. Like I said, whether it's my era or present day era, but one thing stands true, whether it's back in the day or even now. Long Island Lutheran, man. Lou High, man. You say? Without that. And people
talk.
They be hating and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, because
listen, I give y'all props, but we knocked y'all off in '86 up in Glen Falls.
Who's that?
In double overtime. Y'all had Arnold Bernard.
Okay. Yeah, look.
Yeah, but you know, we Lincoln, so you know, you gotta give us that.
Oh, God, Lincoln had, come on, man. Y'all had y'all program of your own, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You guys, up to this day, man. Oh, you know what I'm saying? But those programs now, man, it's so sad, man. There was a program, and I know you know about this, back in the day when I was in high school. They had a program up in Manhattan, Benjamin Franklin. They were really, really good, too.
Benjamin Franklin was a mean school.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, question. One of the reasons why I do this.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the most city championships in New York City history?
You know what? I know I'm going to get this wrong, but I would guess it's either Christ the King or Lincoln. Lincoln, right? Not Lincoln? I don't know. I got the tie, man. You know, who was it? I don't know.
All right. The winningest program in New York City history is DeWitt Clinton up in the Bronx. 18 city championships.
Yeah. Yeah. How can I?
Another question.
Especially when.
Another one.
Mm-hmm.
Who sent the most pros to the NBA? What high school sent the most pros to the NBA?
Oh, God. In New York?
In New York City.
Oh, God.
And we can say Long Island too. We can say in the whole state.
See, right off the bat, I think about Christ the King because I think about Speedy and Lamar.
They're not even on the list, fam. Don't even go there.
Lord. Okay. Okay, I would also say I think about Lincoln because you got Marbury, you got Telfair, you got the other kids.
No, we're actually tied for 4th with LaSalle.
Wow, that's right.
So
who is
DeWitt Clinton again, 18.
Oh wow.
18 18 players in the NBA. So this is why this is so important, because I don't want 20 or 30 years from now, they forget about all the things you did on Long Island.
Right.
And all the guys you made, and all the people who set the foundation for these kids to be playing today.
Right.
We can't forget that history. Look, I didn't know all these things until I started this basketball show. Had to go back and do a lot of my research.
Right.
But this is what we're left with. And who knows, 10, 15 years from now, they won't even mention Lincoln, Jefferson, Lehigh, St. Agnes, Hempstead, Malvern.
Right.
Who knows?
I agree.
So we want to document this history and make sure that people know what's going on, man.
I agree, man. You're doing some wonderful, wonderful things here, man. I can't help but to say I thank you once again for all you've done, man. You are a blessing to me. You're a blessing to so many, man. And I hope that one day I'll get a chance to come on here again and we can really, because I mean, you brought it today. You brought back a lot of memories, man. A lot of wonderful memories, man. I'm serious.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, we're going to get out of here soon. I'm going to let you go. I got a couple more questions, all right?
Okay.
The top 3 players you played against. The top high school, top college, and the top guy who will eventually go to the pros.
Okay. In high school, the top player I played against was definitely Scooter McCray at Mount Vernon. He was by far. And I don't know why he didn't go as far as his brother. His brother went on and played in the pros for a few years, but Scooter was the best. It wasn't, and the thing about it wasn't even close. What was the other one? College player, definitely was James Worthy. And
you had to see him a couple of times, so I could just imagine.
Oh, James Worthy was, he was a beast. He was a beast. But you know what? Let me say this to you now. He was way after me. And this is a whole nother conversation. I tell people all the time who probably, when you talk about the best player, but the most exciting college basketball player of all time is Chris Jackson, played at LSU.
The first Steph Curry, right?
Steph Curry.
He didn't miss from anywhere. Yeah, he was unbelievable.
I love Steph Curry. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Chris Jackson, and the most exciting college basketball player ever. First team All-American as a freshman.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I guess you could put James Worthy in the college and pro bracket because he becomes a Hall of Fame after that.
Yeah.
Or Michael Jordan, or Hakeem Olajuwon, or Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Take your pick.
I'm serious. I mean, these guys, and again, it was great too, because even right on my team, that played a long time in the NBA, Buck Williams. I mean, he was a true horse. He got out there, he was strong. I mean, he was strong even in college and whatnot. I mean, he was awesome, 6'8". Him and Lenny were built kind of the same, except Buck was more of a workhorse down low, power forward. But he was tough too. But college at that time was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stay in shape these days, man? It look like you keep yourself together, man. How you keeping the shape these days?
I walk. I walk. You know what I'm saying? And during the summer, my wife and I, we go out back out to Long Island. We walk in Eisenhower Park, and when we go to the beach, we walk along the boardwalk. And I just walk a lot. The days of and when I get a chance, my son has gotten older, so he becomes busy and gets caught up in his own life, which I understand. But I miss those days getting out there and shooting with him and everything. But just walking, because and one thing I am going to do is, I'm glad you've reminded me. I get by myself and my wife some bikes, because I love bike riding. And we're going to get our bike ride on, and whenever we chance we go away, we get our swim on, because I see people on the treadmill and see people out there jogging. Hey, look, I don't mean any harm. I got to get up close to the mic. It won't be any more of that, man.
Hey, no, I try to get my walk on every day, man. I think it's good. that, you know, we try to get some kind of activity going on,
Exactly.
right? So, brother, with all this knowledge that you have acquired over the years, what are you passing down to your children?
Really, because you know, I still during the summertime, I still work at Long Island Lutheran High School basketball camp.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
One of the things, in terms of playing, one of the things, and we got a lot of guards there that are pretty good. I learned this from my high school coach, Bob McKillop, who's the coach at Davidson now, who, of course, coached Steph Curry. Is that when you're playing guard, don't call yourself a point guard. Don't call yourself a two guard. Call yourself a guard. And what I mean is know how to pass, dribble, shoot, defense, everything. Because your game will be more developed. You'll be able to stretch the defense out, and your career will last longer. Because when they tell you, "Oh, I'm just a point guard," or "I'm just a two guard," they can kind of narrow you in on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you just learn,
you're already giving away half your power.
Yeah. Other than that, play ball every day. Basketball is a game where you get better playing, not sitting. And you get better playing over the summer. During the summer, there should not be a day that you're not out there playing basketball. Every single day, you should be out there playing basketball. In the morning, get out there and shoot. If you're used to shooting 100 jump shots, you got to get out there and shoot 250 jump shots. You know, so these are
500 a day.
Yeah.
500 in the morning, 500 in the afternoon. You work to 1,000.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, brother, we come to the end of the show. I want to thank my guy, Mike Anderson.
Yes.
For putting us up.
Love
you know, salute to him. And salute to everything you've done for Long Island basketball and to make New York City great, man. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you. And look, man, God bless your heart, man. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for all the people that watched this show tonight. And I love y'all. And just stay close to
God. We're not finished yet, brother. We're not finished.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you thought we was done?
No,
I know you thought we was done. See, on Basketball Heads, we give back.
Okay.
Right? I see my guy Keith Stroud over here saying, "Yo, when I get my picture, you get it when I send it to you, brother." But I'll be sending them out soon, in the next week, because it's a lot of pictures we got to send out. So, let me, y'all ready? We have a resident artist, Jamel Powell. What he does, portrait for everyone who comes in the show. And shoot tonight, brother.
Wow. That is awesome.
That's your shot in the middle that you putting up?
Wow.
And then your layup. Oh.
Oh, that's, yeah, that layup there.
Yeah. All right. And we represent, okay?
Wow. I love that, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. You got to really.
So we do here at Basketball Heads, man. So spread the word, let everybody know. Basketball Heads, the official home for New York City basketball.
All right. Wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That does a lot for my heart. Thank you so much.
No doubt, my brother. So listen, man, you have a blessed evening.
You too.
Salute to your family. Your wife for holding you down.
Yes.
And my guy, Rick Combs, you know, said you meant a lot to him coming up. He looked up to you and he wanted to be just like you, man. And you told him all the right things to do, man. So salute to you for that as well.
Yeah, God bless my man, Rick. My man, Rick, is my man, 50 grand, man. We always talk about ball. And what I love about him, man, he loves Brooklyn, man. I love that, man.
Yes.
But that's my man, man. My man, Rick Coombs, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, my guy. I'll holler at you.
Peace, 2 fingers.
And listen. You got to connect because you get to nominate. You get to nominate someone.
Okay.
right? Game Over is my sponsor, so they get to, you know, plug in who they want to get on the show. It's all good.
All right.
It's all one big family. So you let me know who you think should be on the show. Call your guy Gene. Let him know it's real.
Okay, brother. And I hope to see y'all soon, very soon, okay?
Oh, no, we definitely going to get up, man. Definitely. Soon as this thing break out.
All right, brother.
All right, peace.
Bless you.
Peace.